Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Turnbull's Threads. I'm Kathy, your host. And let's see who I am. I'm coming to you from the very chilly Midwest currently. And this is a channel that is about crafting. I mainly talk about knitting and cross stitch. That's all I have for you today, so if you're not interested in seeing any of those, I'm glad you stopped by, but this is probably not the place for you. Name, somewhat where I am, what this is about. Yeah, so this week is the regular scheduled episode. I'm also going to be filming an extra after this, but this is the regularly scheduled episode, so I'm gonna kind of give a quick overview of what I did in December in terms of my crafting, December through a little bit of now. So yeah, I've been trying to do these crafting update about once a month, and then throwing in an extra every 2 weeks. We'll see how that goes. We'll try and do that again, but I do have a fairly lengthy vacation coming up soon, so my schedule may be off. We'll talk about that more once that happens. That I'm excited. It will be fun, and once I get back, I will have probably many things to say. Anyways, so I guess let's get started. I'll start by talking about what I've been knitting, because that's what I like to start with. So one of the things I've been knitting has been the Easy V sweater. I had gotten a good section done before for my last my last episode. And I have finished the body, and I have started on my sleeves. So I think I have about an inch more of my sleeves before I get to do basically a repeat of this color work on my sleeves. And I am almost done. Now, I am slightly worried about these because that is all the yarn that I have left of the main color. And I'm hoping that it's enough to, at the minimum, it should be enough to get me to the color work on these sleeves. I'm also supposed to use this color for the cuffs. I would prefer to use this color for the cuffs. If I can't use this color for the cuffs because I have run out of said color, that is all I have left. Well, then, yeah, we will approach that problem when we get to it. I'm playing Yarn Chicken. I'm hoping to win Yarn Chicken. We shall see. But that is also part of the reason why I like knitting my sleeves 2 at a time. So, if I run into these problems, they will at least be equally messed up. So yeah, this is what one of the main things that I've been knitting on. I am super happy with how it's turning out so far. It definitely needs a good block to finish everything off, but it's looking really good. And I am excited to finish this so that I can wear it. Maybe by the next episode, I will have a finished item. And that will be so exciting. Yay! So, that was the first thing I was working on. The second major project that I've been working on that you've probably seen at least a little bit before is this guy. So, this is the Oatmeal sweater by Veronika Lindberg. It is a majorly cabled pattern with a V-neck. And I have finally finished the body. So the body is done. Let's get this up. So I finished the body. Look at that. It looks so good. And did I modify it? I don't know. I might have modified it. I did an Italian zone bind off because I like how it looks. I think it looks really nice and professional. Yes, I did modify it. But because this bottom is a 2x2 ribbing instead of a 1x1, I did have to rearrange my stitches in order to finish it off like that. So yes, I did modify the pattern. Just a little bit. But yeah, the body is done. Look at all those gorgeous cables. So much texture, like even the sides, like that is textured. And then you have all of these cables and the really stunning knitting cables in the center and more braids. I'm excited about this one. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and pick up for the collar because I do want to like knit the sleeves after I've knit the collar. I want the collar on so that I know like how much it's gonna pull in so that my sleeves are gonna be the right length. I think the actual pattern has you picking up for the sleeves first and then doing the collar, but I'm doing it my way. It's not like it has to be that way. I'm doing this in the color Rainfall. What is it? I think it's Rainfall Knitology by Knit Crate. So I don't think you can find this particular yarn anymore. It's 100% wool in like a DK weight. Yeah, I don't know if the color is quite right. Like this color right here might be the closest to being accurate. It's like this really deep purple, deep royal purple with like maybe a hint of blue, but I think it ends up being a little bit more bluey the closer I get to the camera. Whatever. Yep. Super happy with this one. It's gonna be my focus kind of after I finish the EZV because the EZV is almost done. Like it's got the color work in the sleeves and that's it. The sleeves and the cuffs and it's done. It's almost done. Yeah. So pretty happy with this one. It's turning out really well. Really enjoying the pattern. If you are a knitter or you enjoy knitting, Veronika Lindberg does really good jobs with her patterns. Like I've done a number of her patterns now and she's consistently good. Okay, and then I don't have one of them, but it's the same thing. So the other things that I've been knitting, I did some baby hats that I showed in I think the last one. That's kind of an ongoing thing. So I gave those to the hospital. I don't have them anymore. But I did have a change in my knitting life. So I am actually a knitting instructor for our local yarn shop. The Knittery Nook, if you happen to be in the Iowa, Des Moines, Ames area, you should be able to find it. The Knittery Nook, I am teaching the occasional class. I think I have 2 upcoming where I plan on, let's see, what were my plans? Doing like an intro to mosaic knitting and then kind of an intro or different decrease or bind off techniques that you could use. So like a stretchy one that knits 2 kind of fabrics together, and then another one that's a little bit more decorative. Actually the Italian bind off that I just showed you that I really like. So those are upcoming classes, but I just taught my first series of classes, which was it's a 2 series like beginning knitting. So it's open for anyone. You don't have to have any experience knitting, or you could have some experience knitting and like not done it for 20 years, so you want a refresher kind of thing. That's the idea. So I was going to be teaching this class, and it's a 2-week kind of thing. So last Saturday I did it, and I did it today. So because of that, I had to figure out what pattern I wanted to use. Like, there's a dishcloth one, but what I was finding easily was not what I wanted. So I knit a couple of dishcloths, essentially, is what happened. So the first one that I did was this one. So the pattern that I first found online, they had you increasing by doing yarn overs, and then decreasing, and I didn't follow their pattern at all. I modified it because I didn't like the way that they weren't doing like a center increase. It would have gone like that. Knitting things, yeah. But because I was using yarn overs to increase, by the time I was getting to the decrease, I was like, oh, I like still need to keep the yarn overs, but I need to decrease by 2 each time. Ha, yay. So doing this, I like the dishcloth pattern. I don't know if that's, I might write it up and throw it in Ravelry and use it as like a free, throw it in as a free pattern that if anyone wants to, they can get and use, because it's a fairly simple one. Anyways, not super beginner friendly. It's a nice cloth, but if you have no idea how to hold needles, knitting, purling, like all of this is foreign language to you, I wouldn't have started out with this. I would say like do 1 or 2 simpler patterns and then do this one. So because of that, I went and I figured out basically a knitting pattern that I wanted to do. So it's the same idea, corner to corner. I wrote it up. Fairly easily modifiable. I do need to edit it because my students had some confusions about some of the things and how it was worded, etc. So I figure I'll go ahead and edit that a little bit. But yeah, so I knit up a sample one to show them what we were going to do. And then this week, because last week we learned how to cast on, we learned how to knit, we learned how to purl, we learned how to make stitches. So this week was learning how to decrease stitches, bind off, and then what to do with like the extra bits of yarn. Like, what do I do with this? You weave it in. So I have another project that I took with me, so that I could basically show my students how to go ahead and do those decreases, and then have a good set of stitches for them to practice binding off, because we weren't going to get to that before the end of the class period. There's no way you would be able to knit all of that in 2 hours if you're just learning and you're learning how to decrease. So I wanted to have a good chunk of like stitches that it was fine if they went ahead and practiced binding off, can show how to totally finish things, and then hopefully they'll know how to do it when they go home. If not, they could come into the yarn store and bug someone and say, hey, I know someone taught me how to do this. How do I do it again? Please show me. Anyway, so this is the third dishcloth that I have. I need to figure out what to do with these dishcloths. Oh, I have one other knitting project. I almost forgot about it. It will be a brief second. Just a second. So the final knitting project that I worked on in December was this one. So this was a test knit. I think it's Mosaic hat. So it's obviously a hat pattern with fisherman's rib, full fisherman's rib at the bottom. I enjoyed the Mosaic part of this. And figuring out how to do fisherman's rib, I did enjoy that. It's very similar to like a brioche, in that you're knitting each row essentially twice to get the different colors. Because if you look at it on this side and you were to look at it on the other side, you'd see that like it's fully reversible essentially. The mosaic knitting is not quite fully reversible. So the hat is not fully reversible, but the brim is. It's an okay pattern. I think that there need to be some editing on the brim. I don't know what the designer has done with it. But I had problems with the brim, and even when I sized up or used different knitting, like I tried to give it as much leeway as possible, but I still have problems with the brim. It does not fit over my head. It is too tight. So I think I'm gonna have to basically rip this out. That is a plan. I need to rip this out. I think I need to rip out the entire brim, and redo it in a way that I think it should be done. Yeah, but the mosaic pattern and the instructions were really good for the mosaic stuff, so I was quite impressed with that. Yeah, so that was my last knitting project for December. Yeah, all in December. Okay, so now that we've covered all of the knitting things that I do, let's get into the cross stitch. I'm gonna have to get up again because one of the cross stitch patterns is not here. I don't know, I might have to edit this more. Anyways, so let's start with what I have on top, and then once I finish all of the things here, I'll go grab that one pattern. You have seen it before though if you've watched my my wet parade. If you saw my wet parade, you've seen the one that I don't have, but I will show it because I did work on it. Rambling. Okay, so the first thing that I have is thanks to Milka from Mega Stitches. She posted about the Heaven and Earth sale. So I went and checked it out, and I did see a pattern that I enjoyed. So yeah, I joined. I do think that I'm going to try and get the 6-page finish to at least get all of the other patterns. I don't know if I may or may not be able to complete the entire pattern in the year, but I think that I can get the 6 pages. So, that aside, I've obviously been working on that since then. So I chose Paradiso Canto 34. I really enjoyed like the look of it. Surprisingly, it has a number of colors. And yeah, so that's the one I chose. It's probably like, if you're Milka, it's like the total opposite of what you were, what you chose as your pattern. You went for the one with all the colors. I went for the one that like had 2. Granted, the lion it looked like it had even fewer, so there's that. Anyways, so I am doing it on actually a 20 count easy grid, because I do have some 25 count easy grid, and it's not my favorite. I like the 20 count actually a lot better. But because it is 20 count, I'm doing a tent stitch, but I'm doing it 3 strands over 1 instead of 2 strands over 1, because it gives me better, fuller coverage. I'm doing cross country, and I don't know about extreme cross country, maybe. I mean, here. Yeah, that's what my back looks like. So, strands all over the place, but not too bad. Yeah. There I am. I don't know how well you can see the colors, in part because there's a lot of white in this pattern. So, like, there's light blue, white, like B5200, 3865. I don't know if there's actually white in there. But yeah, so there's a lot of light colored stuff. So if you can't tell what's stitched, what's not, don't worry. It's even hard to tell in person. You have to kind of look for the stitches and the bumps. But yeah, and the ones that I haven't stitched yet, if there's like mostly stitched around them, those are hard to pick out. Yeah, I am, let's see, I am mostly doing this on paper, so I printed out the paper and that's what I'm using crayons to highlight things off, but I did get Pattern Keeper for this, and I don't think I'm going to be using it while stitching, because I do like stitching off of paper patterns much better than I like stitching off of like tablets or screens. Also, I'm usually watching something on my tablet, so yeah, it makes using it for like Pattern Keeper a lot harder if you're like using it to watch things. So there's that, but I am trying to go through after and like go through and highlight what I've finished and what I haven't. Well, not what I haven't. Go through and highlight what stitches I've done to help me keep up with things. I think I'm at about 16% done on the pattern that we were given. So I don't think I'm on track to actually finish right now by the end of the year, but I'm not super far behind either, so there is a possibility I could. Depends. I should be, if I keep doing it like this and I don't get bored and decide to wander off and do other things. Things happen. I should be able to at least get the 6 pages done. That's the goal, right? Get 6 pages. So yeah, 20 count, easy grid, 3/1 10 stitch, and so far that's what I have. I'm pretty happy with it, and I don't think I have anything else to say about that one. I do have something more to say about Sal's though, because I have another one. So Allison and Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe are hosting the Princess Birthday Sale. And I'm playing along, and I started something. Will I finish it now? No. Kind of like the Make It Murder Cell. That's not getting done before the end. I might actually finish one of the things that I plan on doing with that one. Maybe. If I finish like the one guy, I will be pretty happy. There's more that needs to get added, but I will be pretty happy if I at least get the one guy. Anyways, so I'm stitching Cinderella from Brooke's Books Publishing, this pattern here. Sadly, Brooke has passed recently and her Etsy shop is closed down, and so these patterns are no longer available. I think that I will, so I did go and actually I bought the combined pack with all of them, because it was a year-long project that she did, where she did one dress a month for the year. So I think that I am going to like do the plan that I had thought about originally, where I start a new dress every month. Yeah, that's what I got there. They're beautiful patterns, and if you happen to have them like they're well worth like starting. So that being said, I started mine on a 20 count. I don't actually know what this is. It's Basalt. I don't remember what count it is. I think it's a 24. It might be a 25. Might be a 25. That sounds about right. I think it's a 25 count. I'm doing it over 2, and I think I'm doing it a 3 over 2. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm doing it 3 over 2 because of the coverage. So, yep. Basalt, I don't know what else. I don't know who made the fabric, but it's a printed because the back is plain. Yeah, that's my start on it. Pretty happy with that start. And I've got to figure out what I'm doing, like Kreinik wise, etc. for it, because I don't know if I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to use Kreinik on it. I might substitute other things. Who knows? Decisions for future me. Okay, so that's the second cell. I have a third cell, but that is the project I have to go get. So let's talk about the one other thing that I have here before I go grab that. So the other thing that I have worked on has been this one. So Tribal Love. It's an Artiste mini kit. I don't know if they're still being made. It was a Zweigart thing that I got at Hobby Lobby at one point, and I am getting close. Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm almost finished with the insides of most of these letters, and then I have to do the arrows, and then I get to move my hoop. I get to move my hoop soon. Yeah. So this is going well. Quite happy with it. Yeah. Using the kit materials on the kit given stuff. Let's see. It's a 14 count Aida. White 14 count Aida with question mark floss. Floss that came in the kit. Yep, so that's going well. And now, brief aside while I go grab the final project. My final project. Okay, so the final thing that I'm working on is also a sal that I worked on in December. So I worked on it one day, Christmas Day. I started it Christmas Day. And that is this, The Royal Holiday by Nora Corbett. I am using fiber on a Whim. It's a 32 count Belfast linen in the color Ivy for it. And that is what I have gotten done. So a fairly small start. I'm doing this with Tessa Lynn and Pink Glove Stitcher Rose, I believe. Roseanne. I don't know where my phone is. I would have to look it up. So the three of us started this around Christmas, and we're going on from there. I just started it on Christmas, and that was the extent of what I did with it. And it's probably the extent of what will happen to it until Mira May, when I get to pull out all of the other ones. Yeah. So that covers everything that I've worked on, that I can remember that I worked on.
Editing Kathy. I forgot to mention one thing. I have been working on the 100 circles. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm almost, so I've reached the top, I've reached the bottom, I've reached the left side, and we are 2 circles away from the right side. So, yep, almost getting very, very close to being done with this. Should be seeing it one more time in February, and hopefully it will be done by March.
Everyone was asking if people would appreciate my handmade stuff. Yes, everyone did appreciate the handmade gifts. The cousins enjoyed their blankets. In fact, one of them immediately ran off and went and snuggled with his. So, yes, they enjoyed their blankets. The babies enjoyed their stuffy stuff, or their little stuffies. One immediately started hugging it and whacking things with it. And I think, as far as I know, all of my cousins enjoyed their bookmarks. And aunts and uncles. So, yes, everyone did enjoy their handmade gifts. So, that brings me to plans. So, I do have some plans. The people in the Royal Holiday Sale managed to convince me. So I think it was Tess. My voice. I think it was Tess who was asking, like, about WhipGo, kind of how it works, what it's used for, and I mentioned that, like, I didn't think it would be something that would work for me unless I went really vague on it, because I don't really want to confine myself, like, decide on a project and that's what I'm going to work on. I want it to be very big and broad so that I can choose something that would fit it. So I said that, and then I thought about it some more and thought about it some more. I was like, I might do it. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it vague and kind of open-ended, right? So I am going to try and do WhipGo this year, and I'm going to do it with both knitting and cross-stitch. So I have 2 boards that I get to play around with. We'll see what happens. And we'll talk about it, because I'll talk about the 2 things that were drawn this month, so you'll have an idea of kind of some of the goals on it. So I went ahead and figured out what I wanted to do. I have printer sheet paper with, like, what things should be where. And I randomized the numbers as well, so we'll find things when we find things. Anyways, so for this month for WhipGo, for the cross stitch side of things, the 2 numbers that were called were 11 and 20. So the 2 things that I have to do, or should try to do, let's not say have, try to do, are 11, which is make significant progress on a kit. Example, move hoop, complete color within hoop. So, like, I want to make significant progress on a kit. Guess what's going for that? Yep. I would really like to at least move my hoop, if not finish that. So that's the one that I'm slotting in there, because I have been working on it. I've enjoyed it, so that's a good one to. And if I can move my hoop with that one, I've completed a color. I might not have completed a color. Completing a color would also be significant progress on that. So, yeah, I said significant progress and gave myself a couple of examples. That way I'd be like, okay, that's what I mean by significant progress. Not, oh, I looked at it and I touched it. Yay. I want to actually work on something. So that was 11. And then number 20 is go through 6 magazines and pick out charts. Optional bonus, film a floss tube extra. Guess what we're doing after this? Yes, we are filming a floss tube extra where I'm going to go through a set of magazines that I haven't looked at yet. And basically like pick out patterns that I'm interested potentially in stitching. And you guys get to come along on that journey. Isn't that fun? So there's things like that in here. I think I have things like dyeing stuff, learning a new cross stitch skill. So stuff in addition to just stitching. That way my goals are some of the things that I've meant to do and haven't been doing. So maybe this will give me a little motivation to like actually take that next step and finish something up. So that was cross stitch. For my knitting calls, number 11 was make significant project. I meant progress, but I did write that wrong. On a whip older than a year. So if you saw my knitting whip parade, yeah, one of those things. I think I have the project that I want to work on. I'm eyeing it right now. It's the green, like the self-drafted sweater pattern that I'm doing in a cotton yarn. I would like, so making significant progress, I think would get, if I can get it to where I am separating the yoke for the sleeves, I will count that, because I haven't touched it, I think, in over a year now. So if I get there, that's pretty significant progress. And it is self-drafted, so that'll be fun and interesting. And then the other one is 20 was make significant progress on a whip. Examples, finish a sleeve, get halfway done, etc. So, I mean, I could use it for the same one, the older one, and double dip, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try and make significant progress on the Easy V because I'm almost done. Like, I have the sleeves. That is the goal. So, those are my plans. Yeah, we are a little bit over halfway through the month. I have been working on this, so I'll have at least one of the goals finished by the end of today. I've made significant progress on 2 of them towards it, and then one I haven't touched yet. But yeah, I think this will be fun, and likewise, similar to my cross stitch whip go, I have other things on there that are more fun things. So like learn one new skill, or dye, or choose a test knit. So it's I'm very much trying to give myself some fun little extras to play with, while mainly keeping like my normal thing. Like I'm not gonna change my style of stitching and knitting, which is do what you want when you want, for how long you want. But give myself a little bit of motivation to finish some of those things up. So, that being said, if you enjoyed this or would like to watch more, feel free to like and subscribe. I do enjoy interacting with people in the comments. I do have one that I need to respond to. I may not respond quickly or right away. I'm doing most of it from the phone, and so if it's a longer comment, I actually do want to get on my computer or a tablet so that I can actually see the comment as I'm responding to it, because at some point I can't see like the bottom of the comment, and so if there was a question down there, I can't reference it back as I am responding to it on the phone. Annoying, but reality. So if I haven't responded, it's not because I didn't read it and appreciate it. It's probably because I meant to do it on another device and I haven't gotten around to using said device. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else? All comments are appreciated. Sarcastic remarks are greatly enjoyed. And I don't think I have anything else, so if you've made it this far, this is a shorter one than usual, so if you've made it this far, I guess, hands up, we completed it in less than an hour. And have a great week, have a great weekend, have a great day, and hope to see you again soon. Bye!